Welcome, Kingdom Warriors. We are Relentless Glory, and we are here to relentlessly provide motivation, education, and of course, relentlessly praise God. Coach Olivia here and Coach Jamie. Coach Liv here, and I am doing a Testimony Tuesday. And the reason I'm doing this Testimony Tuesday is we just want to share how God has moved through our lives. So, Coach Jamie and I have both had an interesting story when it comes to the things that God has delivered us from. And the thing that God has delivered me from is the generational curse of addiction in my family. So, my grandfather on my father's side was addicted to alcohol. However, when he was addicted to alcohol, like I was not alive. He curbed that situation way beforehand. But it was something that I didn't know about. And my father was addicted to crack cocaine and sex and a lot of things. And because of that, I never wanted to do hard drugs, but I definitely did dibble and dabble with marijuana and alcohol. Those were my vices. So when I was younger, like early 20s, my father died when I was 20, and I was in an abusive relationship, and I like was living with my boyfriend at the time, and I it was really really hard, and how I coped with that season in my life. I was 20 years old when my dad died, and I had to pay for his funeral, and as soon as I turned 21, I started drinking, and I was just I would say a functioning alcoholic. Like I worked in the food and beverage industry, and it was so easy to just drink after work. And I knew, like, I lived in South Carolina, and I knew that if our liquor store is closed at 7 o'clock and it's closed on Sunday, and I was like, you know what? I You can't drink all my vodka because I won't be able to re-up again until Monday. I knew then, like, okay, you know what, this might not be the best way. So I was coping with alcohol, and that caused me to gain a bunch of weight. And like, so the year after my dad died, I turned 21, not even the year. As soon as I turned 21, I gained like 20 pounds, like, in by the time I was 22, because of just the habits I was having, like just drinking so much to the point that like I could not, it wasn't like I was shaking. I was just like, that was just a part of my life. Like I wouldn't want to go out to eat places if they didn't have alcohol, stuff like that. So I curbed that as I got older, but then I kind of replaced it with marijuana and how I could smoke weed. And I got to the point where I did not feel like myself or feel if I was not high. Like I finally felt calm. And I think that's a way that it tricks you to think like, okay, you get all this anxiety when you don't smoke, so when you do smoke, like you have a lot less. Like that's how I was, and it was almost like an ADHD. Like, what's the ADHD pill? Like, if anybody is watching and can tell me, because I don't think I have ADHD, but it would allow me to be able to like. My favorite thing to do was, I'm just being honest, like this is my testimony, okay? My favorite thing to do was like smoke sativa and out of the cartridges, because like that's, no one knows, and drink caffeine. And that allowed me to, just be able to like focus and everything. And I thought, like, you know what, I'm self medicating. This is totally fine. I didn't realize that I was just suppressing everything. And God put it on my heart that I needed to be sober, that I needed to just live a sober lifestyle, and I needed to end the generational curse of addiction in my line, my family line. And I I didn't think that this was something that I was going to start doing. I didn't think that I was going to be the person that was not going to enjoy a margarita or enjoy wine or anything like that. Like, I work at a fine dining restaurant and we get really good high quality alcohol all the time. And so I'm still in that like environment, but I don't judge people that do drink. I just, it's not for me, and God really pulled me out of that. Like, and how God talks to me, I think God has a relationship, different relationship with everybody, but I was at a manifestation party with some friends and I was like, okay, like these are the things that I want. And the last thing that I wanted was, I'm going to be sober. It just like hit me. I was like, okay, I'm going to be sober. And then I started like a week later. And oh man, like as soon as I started this, oh, it was so hard. Like, I don't think that people that smoke weed, I don't think that they know how it really does affect them if they stop smoking. It really messes with your brain and it really causes like the detox is really, really bad. And I mean, because it stays in your system for so long, because it attaches to your fat cells, your detox is a lot longer. So it is a lot of work to detox from marijuana. And that was a whole battle. And when I say like this was a perfect storm of like everything that could come my way that the devil could send, like for me to want to use, did come up. Like childhood trauma, I got to sit and be quiet and face the things that I was avoiding for since I was for like the past 15 years. I was able to face things that I didn't want to face. And in facing those things, I a lot of healing came. A lot of healing came out of facing the things that I was avoiding. And I was avoiding them not just by like alcohol and weed, but I was also avoiding them by overworking and working out a lot and just staying busy, just being overly busy. That was helping me avoid the things that I didn't want to heal from and feel a void from things that I didn't want to heal from. And in that whole entire process, there was so much healing that came, but it was definitely tough, but it was definitely something that God pulled me through. And then so I was dealing with childhood trauma that popped up. And it's funny because I have a podcast, right? And let me just give you a story. So I'm recording this podcast. The third podcast I record is with a woman that is a medium that connects people with the disincarnate. And I was battling with some major childhood trauma at this time. And I call this a test day. And when I was dealing with this test day, um, I I was just like, let me just get through this, right? When we get done recording, the lady tells me, well, both of your grandmothers were here. Both, because they're both dead. And she starts saying some things, and I realized how triggered I was. And it was just so timely that I was dealing with childhood trauma, and then this stuff pops up, and I'm like, oh, well, great. I've got another person to forgive. Like, here we go. So when I say like so many things were coming my way while I was dealing with my sobriety journey, like when I was first starting out, like it was real. And then I had to face a major depression. Like I woke up one morning wanting to die, like wanting to end my life. But the option to smoke weed, and I stopped smoking like nicotine too. Like I've cut out everything except for caffeine. And I attribute that to God because there's no other way that I would have been able to do it on my own will. It is absolutely from God helping me do that. So while I'm sitting there super depressed, like I was just like, yeah, I'm not about to smoke because that's not going to solve the problem. I knew that avoiding my pain, avoiding the issues were not going to bring me any comfort. I knew that I had to start facing what I was avoiding. And oh God, I don't know if you're familiar with Dark Nights of the Soul or anything like that. And if you're watching this on replay or if you're watching this on YouTube, which this will be posted on YouTube, and you're familiar with that, then you can relate. But I just wanted to share like how God has really helped me with my sobriety and living a sober lifestyle. Did I think that I was going to do this? No. Do I think that this is for everybody? You know what? That's a situation between them and God. That is a situation between them and God. That has nothing to do with me. What Coach Jamie and I promote is relationship with God. At the end of the day, we want to help promote that with you and God. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're not going to tell you how to pray, how to do anything like that. We are not pastors. We are just two coaches that love God. And it was something that was put on our heart, especially during the times that we're living in, to add on to what God is doing and help build his army. And to properly help build his army, we understand that relationship is so much more important than religion. And my relationship with God helped me become sober. It is because of my relationship with God that I became sober. And I was able to battle all of the battles that have come my way since becoming sober. Like I didn't have to face half of those things before that happened, but I tell you what, it definitely made me stronger. And if you're somebody that's battling with anything, know that, you're more than welcome to come to me or Coach Jamie and talk to us if you want a person to talk to, because we're not here to judge you. We have done our own things, and we're far from perfect, and we own it. And we're just here to help. God put us on this earth to help other people, and if you're battling with something, there's always a purpose in your pain. You might not see it right now. I'll tell you what, I didn't see it when I was like wanting to kill myself. I did not see that. No, when I was like, no, did I ever think that I was going to be sharing this with people? Thank you, Coach Jamie. No, I did not. I did not think that I was going to share this with people. And this is the first time that I've actually spoken about it on a social platform that, yeah, God ended the generational curse of addiction in my timeline. And what got me was a post that said, be sober for your kids. I don't even have children, okay? But then it made me think about my childhood and having to see my mom cover up so many things for my dad because she divorced my dad because of his addiction. And I definitely wanted to not do that to my future children. I didn't want to be the mom that had to cope with her issues through vices. I know I'm never going to be perfect, and I understand that a lot of people do that, and I'm not condemning them. Again, I'm not condemning them. That's just not something for me. Thank you, Coach Jamie. For those of you that are watching this on replay and on YouTube that can't see it, she says, yes, our tests become our testimony, and that's how we heal others. Thank you for stepping up to share your truth. Thank you, Coach Jamie. I love you, girl. So yeah, like it's been a battle. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're saying, well, you've got no idea how hard this addiction is and how I can't cope and like how people have turned against me and blah blah blah. And if you want help, there is help. God, literally ask God to be like, you know what, can you just release this from me? You just take this away. Can you please just take this away from me? And he will. You gotta be persistent. It ain't gonna be easy, as you just heard. I didn't go through some tests, but it's to make you stronger. And whether your addiction might be pornography, whether your addiction might be gambling, whether it might be whatever it is, addictions are just habits that do not serve us. Don't feel any extra shame about it, because just to give you a statistic, in 2017, 19.7 million people in the United States had a substance abuse issue. Since 2020, that number has increased by 30%. And those are just the numbers that we know about. So if you're somebody that's battling in this area, know that you're not alone. Know that a good percentage of the United States is medicated under some sense of the word. And if you want to step into recovery or step out on faith, then God can help you do that. And I'm just here to let you know that God definitely did that in me, because girl, listen, I didn't plan on this, but this is my life now. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. And go be relentless for the glory of God. Thanks for being here. Now go be relentless for the glory of God.